All right, so this is the second video number two. What are we going to explore in this video? We're going to explore the same elements of nature, the same space around and inside of us, the same sun, the same air, water, fire, earth. Same columns, but here we're going to explore two concepts. The concept of motion and three concepts. The concept of resistance and maybe the concept of capacitance. Let's look at these two concepts first for each field of nature. So, starting from Earth, we said a ball, an apple, some body that has a certain mass is moved, right? So this is the ball that moves, right? This is the variable. A ball, a mass that moves and is pushed by a potential difference. It pushes the apple down the gravitational field, right? So the motion of the bodies in time, the motion of that mass in time, the distance that mass, the distance of the displacement, which are similar concepts, is what we study as motion in physics, right? Okay, so it has to do with kinematics, the motion of bodies. Bodies move, water moves, we call this flow, right? Flow of water, flow of air. This explains, the motion of water is explained by convection, the idea of convection. Same for air. I mean, the air is the winds, the currents of the ocean, the winds of the atmosphere, they all imply motion of a mass or a volume of air, of water that is being pushed by pressure. Now, flow of energy, because remember that for fire, the sun is the first source of energy. So this is just energy. What moves is energy. What is energy? What comes from the sun. That could be a definition of energy. Energy is that which comes from the sun. And it could be in the form of waves. It could be in the form of particles. I think it is more in the form of particles. Waves is just a model that failed to explain everything that the sun does. Okay. So the flow of energy is power, solar power. Remember, energy over time is choose. Flow of water, wind, flow of energy. Flow of charge is current. The unit of current is ampere. So when something moves in time, like when we divide this variable by time, then we have a certain flow. This is the idea of motion in physics, motion of different things. And of course, if something moves, there must be a path for these variables to move, right? So this is the concept of resistance, what allows and opposes to the flow, to the motion. For example, in the earth, what allows and opposes to the motion of bodies is what we call friction. Friction is what makes acceleration possible, but it's also the cause of decelerating, right? So friction is a very important concept in mechanics that has to do with resistance to motion. Good. What about resistance to motion of air, of water? Inside the bodies, we can think of veins and arteries that are carrying the blood, right, in one direction. So a pipe, any artery, a tap, a valve, all these are examples of resistance in fluid dynamics. Resistance in the form of pipes, valves. In air, well, nostrils. The nostrils are the resistors, right? Naturally, the air goes through a certain path to enter the lungs. The resistance to the flow of heat, we mentioned three at least. One is when it goes through space, right? When it goes through space, we call that radiation. Transfer of heat through empty space. If it reaches the fluids, that means the water or the air, we talk about convection. And finally, if it goes straight away from your body by earth, by molecule to molecule, that is what we call conduction. So it's three waves or three resistance to the flow of heat in the fire, or related to the fire element, right? Resistance. And I'm going to leave the concept of capacitance for later on because it's a big concept. So again, this is a free matrix. What allows and opposes to the flow, this is what you need. I mean, you need to complete the whole of the matrix now. I'll leave it for you. Take a few minutes to meditate and see if you can come with these words, or at least very similar words. So we are using the words, the concepts that we need to define in order to explain physics in words that make sense, right? The concepts are just words that we create to find laws in nature. Okay? All right. Next lesson, we will explore the concept of capacitance. So we leave it there. What is capacitance? Now, think about that.